darkness. We had an accident with lights, with electricity, which might have been caused by my hand doing this, or it was just a coincidence or something else. I don't know. Anyway, we don't have lights in my apartment anymore, and it's even colder than it usually is, because the boiler isn't working, obviously, without the light. And I'm filming this in candlelight, very romantic, and I'm sitting next to my oven using the gas to warm myself up a little bit. And this accident, which hopefully will be resolved in the morning when the electrician will arrive, when they arrive. Hopefully it's gonna be solved tomorrow, like not be longer, but even if it will be, I think I'm fine. Took me some time, but I'm fine. Better than before. This whole thing, it opened a whole can of worms. Quite a lot of worms. And I don't even know, like, which tail to pull at. It's very difficult to like not get support when there is someone around, when there is someone close to you, when you have like friends or family or a relationship. Kind of adds something to the whole experience, something very negative. Like you still have to do everything yourself. That kind of stays the same, but there is kind of like, there is insult added to injury when there is someone and they do nothing or make it worse. And I need help, I need support. I mean, just as any human being, I think, needs support when they're distressed. Someone who's not affected by it, by this, whatever the situation is. They need someone to, like that, to step in and like help them through that in whatever minimal way they can. I don't think I've ever had that. Apart from like people whose job it is, you know, like a police officer on the street, or like some kind of airport personnel that like helps you out with something. And you're like running around in circles because like it's a stressed environment, like stressful environment, and like too many people, there are like quite a lot of things you can fuck up. So I'm grateful to those people, like I remember them. But with my personal life, it's fucking nonsense. Don't want to repeat what I have already said, because I journaled about it in the process of getting through the shit. Like, I'm autistic, and the things that I experience when something goes awry are like symptoms, and they're like, I don't know how to put it. They're not what everyone goes through, and they're very specific, and they're pretty severe, and I like literally have, I must literally have trouble with it. This is the area where I have trouble. It's like I have bad eyesight also. Not everyone has bad eyesight. And me having bad eyesight means that I have this specific problem with like seeing shit. So the same goes for autism. This is a break in routine. Definitely. And like, no amount of useless shit. Useless talk that, ooh, you're just something. Something happened to you and that's why you're reacting in this way, but this is the wrong way, and now I'm gonna make it worse. Because that's where this kind of talk usually leads. Something happened to me, I was fucking bored with this kind of brain. And what happens actually is I'm having epiphanies thanks to like bad wiring or whatever happened. I really want to know, but it's gonna be fucking hard. My electrician is, he's a bit secretive. Maybe he's doing magic, that's why. Where was I? Yeah, so what happens is, oh, am I gonna sneeze? I'm gonna sneeze. I have sneezed. What happens is like my concept of what's gonna happen, this complex plan, because now I have a complex dynamic plan that like there are like branching possibilities and like ideas that I might do that, and if this then I might do that, and maybe then like all of that collapses and it's all tied up. Not even because like I make it so, but because it is tied up. Tied up? It's not tied up, it's tied. It's tied together. Just I happen to think like that. But it is like one thing affects the next thing. This is just a fact in this universe. We have causality. I'm very acutely aware of it. So my brain kind of reevaluates everything. Like makes these adjustments to every kind of thing that it sees as being connected to whatever little disaster that happened. that I have on hand. And like, until it does so, until like it completely reconstructs what we can do, I'm very distressed. And like, I'm fine now. I'm alone here. I don't have family, I don't have friends, I don't have relationships, I have neighbors. I have the number of the electrician. Somehow fucking neighbors are better to me than my loved ones. Makes me insane, like this makes me insane, but this is true. I don't really have anyone to somehow like participate in grounding me, like in giving me like some sort of ideas like what can be done, giving me some reality. And I can do it. Like relatively fast actually, like it took about an hour. With also like, I wasn't fucking rolling on the floor and crying. Or like punching something. Maybe I should have punched something though. For a separate reason, but with me like going to knock on my neighbor's door and ask for the number and then to call and communicate in a language that is not my native language, which I still speak relatively poorly. And yeah, the electrician is not available tonight, only in the morning. So I'm stuck being here. And then my neighbor also like looked at it and gave me some information that I guess like possibly that. So if it's that, which it probably is, then it means this and this and that. And that is very helpful. I find it very helpful. Even though by the time he did it, I had already been fine. Which is a fucking like, it's a feat. I'm like an ancient fucking hero. I'm from Greece. It is a feat, not because even of this bucket and the way it's organized and the way it reacts to things and the way it thinks about things. It is a feat because the people who I thought were like close to me, they did things, they said things that hurt me additionally. And I still have the effects in the meat, and it will be quite a long time before it goes away completely. So I had to deal with that before I could deal with whatever my brain actually needed to deal with. And I wasn't as capable when I was younger, so when I was like my family, my parents, who did nothing to help me, or even made it worse. Because then I punched things and I cried and I just felt completely fucking helpless and what's the word? Desperate. I was desperate for like a number of minutes, which shook my whole nervous system, and was angry, like at my parents, I'd love to unpack it somehow. Don't know how, like I'm not that person anymore, but... And like when I was that person, I also thought about it, but I couldn't like really figure it out. Kind of logically seems that, yeah, like why wouldn't I be angry? I am a child. And they do nothing. I'm asking for help. And they don't give it to me, and it's their fucking job. Like, why wouldn't I be angry? But then, like, brains don't work on logic. So it wasn't the underlying assumption there. Like, to me feels that I was just like... Kinda like... How to choose the word for this one. Not upset. Not disappointed, but something... Like they were there. Kinda like they were present. Kinda nearby. Like I was aware of their existence. Like... If I'm aware that you are there, why aren't you helping me? Like, why aren't you involved in it? Now that I think about it, like it's... Like, yeah. Because, like, awareness is pretty mutual in this. Or should be pretty mutual. Maybe not. Hard to tell, but it's a bit unpleasant. I find it a bit unpleasant, that feeling that I would get. As if like as if they're like function, they owe me something. Which I mean they kinda do, but again, brains don't work on logic. Or on rules, or on like societal norms or ideas like that. Feels kind of a bit like egocentric and non-independent, like as if like I don't fully feel and understand that they're separate people. Which might be the case, like I was a child. Like the brain develops in this area too. And this is exactly how it does. I don't think I have this now. Still a bit like... I don't like that. I don't like that point in my personal, mental and psychological history. I don't like it that I was like capable of that. Like not capable of what is more sane. Because yeah, like I know that some people exist. Doesn't mean that like they to be involved in my life just because I know that they're there. It's kind of weird expectation. I mean, I should make a video that I have a lot of these kind of think like my brain noticing like the state of development, the stage of development of my brain, and like being, ew, and going like, oh, what is that? Just funny. But I have a lot of them, and they're a bit of a curse. A bit of a like guilty conscience, yeah. Sins, you know, my sins. That I don't have a priest to tell to. Like with this, it's even like hard to actually complain. To actually go through what I need to go through, I think. Like I have trauma. But it's hard, because I keep considering all the other things. All the things I have felt or thought or I just have in my brain. My parents, when something went wrong with me, and they started doing that like when I was very young. Like when I was 9, 10, it started, I think around that. I will need to inspect my memory. Like that was definitely like from like when I was 9 and 10, like that thing was definitely present and it just never went away. Before that, I need to think about it. But yeah, my problems would be met with something that I can only describe as joy. Like, aha! Great! Now you can go and deal with it on your own. Why don't you like it? Go! Like, yes! And I don't mean that, like, my toy, like, had broken or something. With that shit, I dealt on my own, like, without, like, asking, because that's, like, my shit. But, like, I mean, like, I would get sick. Or I would, like, get fucking stuck outside of the apartment. Because the door had broken. On the 1st of January, which is when everyone is drunk and celebrating and nothing works, whatever, like those places whose numbers, like, I don't even know, I don't know who to ask. Like, this was one of the most bizarre situations that I have ever lived through. But yeah, like, I would get sick, or like some kind of need for documents, or doing this kind of more adulty kind of stuff. And my parents didn't want to help in any way. Like, I would come and click some simple situation as like, it's not even dramatic, like nothing actually happened, I just need information. So like, I was told, like at school or somewhere else, that I need to, like, you need to get this and you need to do this for that. Like you need to get this item, and for this you need to go to a place. So I would come back home, and I would tell my parents that like they had told us this and that, and I need to get there, and like I don't know where that is. There's like some kind of government facility with a long ass name, and I'm like 13. And it's before the internet. I gotta Google it. And they would be very reluctant to tell me the address. Like first they would mock me, like, ah, you don't know where it is, but how? But don't you live in this city? Like so dumb. Like, do you understand? Like I can say this now. I have the capacity, like, do you not understand that I'm a child? And I don't have your experience. I don't have adult experience. And then I couldn't. I was just like dumbfounded at this. So yeah, like I had to go to hospitals on my own to like that was one of, like, again, this is one of the most like, yeah, I become floaty, like, sometimes when I really think about it, like, how did it happen? Like, was it real? And like, it was real. There was, like, children's hospital, where, like, this was the hospital in my area, the hospital where like, children from this kind of district had to go to. And yeah, my parents would just send me there. Like, go, like, you know where it is. And I remember being there multiple times, and then I would enter it, and bizarrely, to me at that time it was bizarre, like, why is it happening? The hospital was full of adults. There were some children, but there were so many adults, and they were like taller and bigger than me. And they, like, I had to, like, to get to the doctor, I had like to take a place in the line to queue. And I would ask, like, who's the last person in the queue? And people would ignore me, the adults. And it was very hard for me to, like, do it 2 times, like, ask the second time, because, like, I was completely lost, like, I didn't know the protocol. The fucking communication was, I mean, I'm fucking autistic. And, like, that was just, like, my experience for many, many, many years. I was, like, really angry at this whole situation, that, like, I go there and people don't answer me, like, they don't let me in, they push me away. So, like, I ask, that would often happen, so I ask, people don't react, so I feel stupid and, like, can I do this? Can I know? Like, I'm confused. Like, can I ask the second time? So sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't. And I would just, like, decide to stand there. And I assume, well, I mean, they saw me. So, and I'm there, like, I'm standing there. They must understand that I'm also there to get to the fucking doctor. Or, like, someone else would come and they will ask, like, who's the last in line? And I will say, oh, that's me. Because, like, I was the previous person to arrive. But nah. They didn't care that I was there.